Welcome to Board Game Empire. Today we're going to do a quick overview and a final thoughts of Oghmu, Age of Discordance, which I think is going to be on Kickstarter or GameFound. I'll put up the link in the description. So this is kind of like a skirmish, dice rolling, asymmetrics type of game. And it does have a lot of elements to it. And so we're going to jump right into it, and then I'll do my final thoughts. Okay, so you have 6 asymmetric factions in the game. The characters have the base actions, which is very on top. You also have 2 special actions, which will be located here in the center. And then you have your innate action, which is at the very bottom. And then you have your faction action, which is normally all the way in the left side. Here on the left is where you'll have your, pretty much your, if you get poison, like positive, negatives throughout the game that you'll receive from characters or from your own characters. There's 16 different conditions that you could pretty much receive. Here are some of them. And you'll be placing, like I said, on the very left side of your character sheet. Some heroes can also summon powerful creatures. So you get powerful creatures from summoning. Now there are triggerable and active map elements throughout the board. There's also the solid white lines that pretty much block from ranged attacks and different things. And there are several boards. I think there's like, each board is double-sided. And so there's 4 different locations that you could choose from to battle in. Okay, now we're going to talk about how to play the game. So first, you can pick one of your inactive players. Normally you'll have 4 per player. Then you roll your dice. And depending on what you roll, is what you go pretty much, let's say we picked this character. So I could do the 3 3s, which I didn't get. But you can see it says 3 plus, 3 plus, 3 plus. So you pretty much, it's anything above a 3. You have your 6, so I could assign that one. Or you could do this one, 4 plus, 4 plus, so that doesn't count. So that would pretty much do like 1 hit. This one is range 3. 2 enemies in range. Effect target gets 1 hit. Upon failed defense roll, target becomes blinded. So pretty much what you do is you roll the dice, you assign it, then you play a hero on board, use special ability and position tactically, hand over dice to opponent. It is now his or her turn to activate one of his or her heroes. But as you can tell, there's an innate ability. You can do this beginning of your turn or end of your turn. So at the end of the activation, or let's see, at the end of the activation roll, 1d6 on a roll of 5, the Gordon becomes blessed. So he would become blessed. You would look at what blessed does, add 1 to the result of each action die. And then this one is for this faction, Soul Essence Absorption, dice placed on the designated dice spot. The base action not only deals damage on a failed defense roll, but also heals the hero. Whereas this one is Trickery of the Mistborn. At the start of the end of the activation, roll 1d6 on a roll die of 3 plus. Hero can swap places with any other hero in line of sight. So that's pretty much how that works. And so you're just going to be going back and forth, rolling dice, defending your dice, possibly summoning creatures. Like this team has 1 creature it can summon. But there's many options to choose from in each faction. So it's not just a 4 here. There's other options. and that's pretty much how you play the game. It's a very simple like skirmish game with dice rolling for some of the mechanics, and then also whatever you roll will determine what you place or what you pick as your either your top action, your special actions, or your innate actions. And so, pretty cool game. And then you also have these right here, like 5-4, 5-4, 5, and so those will determine also. So it was a quick game, somewhat, because you're putting a lot like spells or different things, and your like shield and your character. So game probably takes like, I would say, 40 minutes to 50 minutes, determine on player if they have analysis paralysis or can decide what character to move or activate, also what you want to do, and also determine the range. I think the range thing, you have to make sure you're doing it right, because this is kind of a skirmish game, and you want to make sure that everything's working well. So for me, I think this is a great game for people that like skirmish games. Like me and Quinn play some of the Disney games, which you're able to play different characters. So similar to that aspect. Also, people who back in the day when I used to play like Final Fantasy Tactics, those type of games, this kind of feels like familiar. It doesn't have the options where, you know, you could go up a tier, and it also, I think that would have been a cooler aspect in the game if they just added tiers or areas were raised higher, and then you'd be able to gain more benefits determine on what level of, like, you know, if in military combat, if you're higher, you have better line of sight, and then it's easier to strike as opposed to a person that's below. Things like that aspect in the game would have been beneficial. And so, but that could be also changed in different, you know, revisions of the game as they implement more locations and stuff. But I mean, this has a cool core game, and I think if they expand on it with different factions, different abilities and spells, and also you know, the dice mechanics works very well. So really cool game. Can't wait to see it on Kickstarter. I think that this will appeal to many people who like skirmish games. And if you like this video, please subscribe. Social media down below in the description. We'll have a link where to buy the game or the Kickstarter game found. And we'll see you in the next video.